80sist, the podcast that uses your votes to determine the most totally 80s song ever to blare from the tinny speakers of a canary yellow Walkman. In the heart of rock and roll, Cleveland, Ohio, I'm Keith Marsteller, and joining me from Seattle, it's the creator of the 80sist. Everybody loves him. It's my longtime friend. He's also my co-host. It's Joe Walk. Hey, Joe.
Keith, man, been a long time since I.
No.
What?
That's
I'm
not. We're trying to. No.
Okay. No, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good call.
Yeah, that's a hard no but welcome back to the 80sist, everybody.
That's right. No to racism, but yes to music.
That's right. Yes to 80s music, especially.
There you go.
And speaking of 80s music, today
We always are.
Yeah, and today in episode 32, we're going to discuss the third matchup in our Foreigners
Without Foreigner.
Thank you, Joseph. Region, and that's gonna pit 5-seed Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, with special guest to be announced later, against 12-seed, and I like his chances, folks. It's Electric Avenue by Eddy Grant.
There you go.
So, there you go. Those are the competitors. Joe, let's break them down.
Fun fact.
Is it a Toyd?
Not exactly.
All right.
Not exactly. But in Spanish, money for nothing is dinero para nada.
That's true. Wow, you were paying attention when Mrs. Sheridan, may she rest in peace, taught us
May her memory be a blessing.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, getting back to it.
Back to the matchup, though. Two episodes ago, do you remember doing this? Or maybe it was 4 episodes ago when you were like, that's a matchup.
I remember. It was very embarrassing.
So in your memory, I'm going to say, wow, Money for Nothing against Electric Avenue. Huh. That's a matchup.
It's a matchup.
All right, what do you got? Let's do the tail of the tape.
All right, here we go. Money for Nothing is from the album Brothers in Arms, which, God, it's an excellent album. I just listened to it again today in full because I love the album. Was released on June 28th, 1985, and reached number 1 on the U.S. charts, holding the top spot for 3 semanas.
Wow.
That's right. This song won the Grammy for Best Rock Performance and won the MTV Video of the Year award. And we'll talk about how they did that in a bit.
But that is a lot of clout.
A lot of honors.
For one song to be a number 1 and win a Grammy and win the Video of the Year.
Video of the Year.
And Rock Performance of the Year. So those are big accolades.
That's right.
Don't give up on my guy, because Eddy Grant had Electric Avenue come from the album, which great name for this album, which I never knew, Killer on the Rampage. And it was released.
Eddie.
Yeah, it was released April 12th, 1983. And it reached number 2 and then sat there for 5 weeks on the U.S. charts. Kept out of the top spot, alternating by Flashdance, What a Feeling, already in the countdown. And excluded Every Breath You Take, which is excluded in the Legends.
Not going to be in the countdown.
So those 2 juggernaut songs, though, kept Electric Avenue from being a number 1.
Yeah.
And then speaking of juggernauts ending dreams, Electric Avenue was nominated for a Grammy, but then lost to Billie Jean.
Man.
So, tough breaks for Eddy Grant.
But, I mean, Eddy Grant lost all these chances to, again, legendary songs.
Legends, yeah.
Right.
So I guess with no further ado, let's move on and start listening to these things. Money for Nothing.
All right.
You might recognize this voice.
Who is that?
This is an excessively long introduction, if I recall.
Oh, It is Indulgent. I mean, I guess if you've got Sting working on your song, you want to use him a lot, right?
Right. While this is happening, I'll mention that I used to challenge a guy I knew named Dion to go stand in the center of the gym and air drum this solo before the song started. And he would go out and do it. Now, nobody danced with him, but still.
Dion did not care.
No, he didn't care. I mean, it's going to be well after a minute that we hear voices, but we'll get there.
But I mean, it helps that it's Mark Knopfler playing guitar.
Yeah.
Look at them yo-yos, that's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working, that's the way you do it. Money for nothing and your chicks for free. Now that ain't working, that's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe get a blister on your little finger. Maybe get a blister on your
All right, chorus.
We got some install microwave ovens, custom kitchen deliveries. We got some movies, refrigerators. We got some movies, color TV.
Title not
there
in
you
the
go.
chorus.
What's that?
The title not in the chorus.
Yeah, weird, right?
Yeah. It's sprinkled liberally throughout the rest
It's
of the song.
everywhere, but it's not
in
in
the chorus.
the actual chorus. Yeah.
All right. What about this Electric Avenue now?
Oh, man, we're going to play a healthy dose of Electric Avenue for you.
All right.
Stop it, but we gave money for nothing 2 minutes.
All right. Well, let's give Eddie parody.
We'll give him a little extra.
Can't get food for that kid. Good God, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher. Oh, we gonna rock down to Electric Avenue, and then we'll take it higher.
All right. Oh no! All right, that's probably a good healthy dose of Electric Avenue for those of you who maybe somehow never heard it. Now you have. Joe, let's talk about liking these songs. I guess it's my turn to go first.
Let's talk about Money for Nothing. Do you like it?
I do. Yeah. I mean, I dig. I was a rock and roll aficionado back in the day, or I liked rock more than pop, and this was more rock, and I dug this guitar sound and the whole thing. So yes, I like this song a lot.
All right. I do too. We'll talk about Dire Straits in general in a little bit.
Sure.
But I like this song. What about Electric Avenue? How do you feel about that?
Electric Avenue, Joe, there aren't enough. I fucking love Electric Avenue. Electric Avenue is like stamped into my gray matter from childhood, like for sure. Like it is 100% experientially 80s, and we'll talk about its creds. But yeah, I love the song. How about you?
Absolutely the same. I've mentioned before, I have a jukebox in my head. I burst into song all the time, enough to drive my family insane because everything's a fucking song cue. And Electric Avenue frequently tumbles forth from my vocal cords because it is always in there, ready to go at a moment's notice. It's always I have Oh my God! What in the DJ thing? The cart. I have a cart ready to pull down from the wall and pop in there.
The old-fashioned one piece of tape, like it's a Mobius strip of tape that they put in a cartridge, and you would shove it into the machine and hit a button.
That's right.
And it would play, and then it would end up back at the beginning of itself. It didn't have to be rewound. That was the cool thing with carts.
It was pretty handy.
Yeah.
And as we were both DJs, we both know that.
That's right, because we're so knowledgeable. That's why we're the hosts.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Well, it's time to start making arguments for and against Money for Nothing. Now, Money for Nothing is a song that I just admitted to liking.
Yeah.
But Dire Straits, far from a one-hit wonder, Joe.
Oh, my God.
They got a wealth of popular songs. You might recognize Walk of Life.
Yep. Walk of Life was one of my go-to karaoke songs because it has my name in it.
Oh, yeah.
Albeit a different spelling.
But still.
Yeah.
So, Walk of Life, Sultans of Swing is a recognizable hit of theirs.
Yep. Also something I sang in karaoke.
Nice. So Far Away, also from Brothers in Arms.
So far away from me.
Really good.
Might recognize this one.
Where are you when the sun goes down? You're so far away from me.
Anyway, then they also have this Romeo and Juliet song.
Oh my God, I love this song so much.
So that's just a smattering of songs off the top of my head that they had. And I'm sure they have many more that didn't jump immediately to head.
I mean, this album, Brothers in Arms, that Money for Nothing comes from, is one of those albums where you hear it like, oh shit, that's on there too? And that song I love is on there too? It's
one of those massive albums, right?
Absolutely.
So that's their kind of cred. We talked about the awards. We talked about the accolades. We talked about the #1 status. Now, you nominated the song, all right?
I did.
So talk to me, sell me on this song. Or give me what you got. I'll let you go first because it's your song.
Here's what I got.
Yeah.
This is their biggest hit. This is by far their biggest hit and the one that most people would know. It is absolutely not. I mean, I like the song. It is not my favorite Dire Straits song by a long shot.
Oh, okay.
Because they've got so much other great stuff. This is probably, in addition to being the biggest hit they had, probably the 80s-est song that they had. Here's why. Here's a couple reasons why.
Sure.
And then you can hit me with what you have reasons why. #1, Sting.
Sting, dude.
Sting is on this.
Sting takes a break from the police to come over and sing, I want my MTV.
Right. And then to harmonize throughout the song.
Yeah.
This is not a Rockwellian 10-second work from Michael Jackson.
He hung out the entire length of the song at least once.
This is a collaboration. He has his own character in the video. Okay.
That's true.
Speaking of which,
the video.
Oh my God!
Wow.
We have to have a link to this because this video is so incredibly 80s. It won Video of the Year because at the time it was super innovative because they used computer animation, which again very early on. This is like you take Pac-Man, right?
Yeah.
And then you go like a slight notch above it, right? So whether you have actual characters and it's like looks vaguely three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Like an equivalent would be, if you haven't seen this video, an equivalent would be if you've seen Back to the Future 2, the part where the Jaws, the shark,
the quote-unquote hologram.
Yeah, comes out of the billboard and comes down at Michael J. Fox. It's that level of shitty, primitive computer animation.
It was innovative at the time, though.
It was. Another innovative technique they use in the video is rotoscoping, but like neon. So they use
right.
It was very big.
They threw some like neon tendrils on top of the right. Mark Knopfler while he's soloing or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And bright neon colors throughout in the rotoscoping. And then another thing that makes this video so 80s, headbands. Everyone in the band they're wearing headbands.
Like the sweatband type of headband. Like,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sweatband headbands, which, again, very 80s. You had to be there to understand
It's not quite
why.
a painter's cap, but it's up there with the painter's cap.
No. Yeah. I think maybe sweatbands have a little more functionality than painter's caps in everyday life.
I mean, they would actually absorb sweat, from what I've heard.
Right. Yes. Not that you ever sweat.
Especially if your hair is thinning and you don't have hair to absorb it. You and I were fortunate in that way that we still have that for now.
Yes. I don't know that I ever used a sweatband.
I had wrist ones in the 80s.
Right.
But not a head.
I have used those.
Yeah. I had those at track practice. You pull up the red, white, and blue armband and then whoosh. Yeah, for sure. Now, some guys tried to wear them around the school. Jason Knapp, I'm looking at you here. He'd wear like a peach-colored beach shirt and a white wristband, like just as an accent.
That sounds pretty Jason Knappian to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Dude, he was a great person.
One thing that gives this song tremendous 80s cred is, I don't know, I just want to play this. This was performed live with Dire Straits and Sting at Live Aid, which we've talked about.
At Live Aid.
So this was a big live performance where the two of them actually got together and recreated the song.
Yeah.
For Live Aid.
Did they dress up as the characters from the video?
I don't believe that they did. But
disappointing.
It would have been great. One of the things that makes this really 80s for me is Mark Knopfler, the lead guitarist. I think he's generally the lead singer and guitarist and kind of considered the band leader of the whole thing. But is that for this, he departed from his usual guitar sound.
And real quickly, he has a pretty distinctive guitar style.
Yeah.
You can pick Mark Knopfler out. And it's not in the song. Sorry.
It's not this sound,
It's
right?
not this song.
And that is because he admittedly was trying very much to sound like another 80s band, which I think we'll hear in our Legends bracket, ZZ Top.
You're damn right we will.
And so he was trying to steal Billy Gibbons' sound. He was trying to get this sound, and he went as far as calling Billy Gibbons on the phone to ask him for tips on how to tune his guitar like him. And Gibbons is like, I didn't tell him jack shit, but he did a pretty good job of copying me anyway. And so,
you're damn right.
Not necessarily the notes of that song, but that
style.
Fuzzy guitar sound.
Yeah.
Which, if I give you a back-to-back kind of sound matchup. So it's like that, and so anyway, that's what he was kind of going for, is that Billy Gibbons sound, which is very 80s.
Yes.
What we've talked about, like effects pedals that are
Yes.
inherently 80s, and he was trying to set it up like that, and by all accounts, did.
Something else that's very 80s, rampant homophobia.
All right.
Now,
so are we going to talk about this? Because there's a controversy, right? I didn't know if we wanted to bring up a controversial thing.
I think much like if you're showing a 1940s Bugs Bunny cartoon where Asian folks, Japanese folks are portrayed in super offensive ways, I think you need to acknowledge it. Now, to be clear, I don't. This is not coming from Mark Knopfler himself. This is, I think.
Yeah, it's the character that's singing the song. Yeah, okay. Right. I just wanted to make that. It's not necessarily good to use the word he used anyway, but it's kind of like an Archie Bunker thing, right? Like you put this guy out there who's an obvious idiot and short-sighted and racist and all that, and you have him say these things.
Yeah, if you haven't heard the song, it's the kind of king daddy of offensive words about homosexual guys.
Yeah.
Right? That one.
Right.
And it's tossed around a few times in one verse. And
Right.
again, this is a character who is kind of disdainful. If you listen to this whole song, he's disdainful of musicians and thinks that they have an easy life.
Right.
As
He
compared
thinks
to
they get their money for nothing.
Right.
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 And then he talks about them having earrings and
weird hair.
Right. And so even though he is portraying this ignorant character, it still caused a huge amount of controversy at the time. And since then, the song has been edited to kind of remove that, and which is good. And I don't know if I haven't heard an edited version of it to know if they changed it to another word.
Well, he uses yo-yo at one point. I'm wondering if they just use yo-yo again.
Oh, okay, maybe.
I don't know. I also have not listened to the edited version.
Yeah, so the one edited version just removed the verse entirely. So it wasn't like a word replacement. It was just like, let's just pull that whole verse. That's the one that I'm familiar with and have heard. Because, for a while on the radio, you never heard the offensive verse anymore. Right. And so anyway, that is, homophobia is very 80s, as you see in the movie Footloose, where the guy calls Kevin Bacon's character a pansy. And he said, hey, I thought only assholes use the word pansy, or what, anyway.
Ooh, Kevin.
Very 80s.
Yeah. I got one more thing I want to throw in there is my Gens Alpha feedback here.
Oh, yeah.
So from Gen Z, this is the older kid. We got, it's okay. It's there. Not very effusive in his praise.
Wasn't sitting there air drumming it. None of that.
No. And then from Gen Alpha we have, it sounds like they put together some random words and kept saying them over and over again. So,
all right.
Less enthusiastic.
Very much not a fan.
Not a fan of this song.
Oh, man. All right. If you have no other arguments for Money for Nothing, let's move over to Electric Avenue, which...
Let's rock down to.
Yes, let's do it. Which, for the first 20 or so episodes of our podcast, was our address was 1985 Electric Avenue. It has since changed to 55 Secret Street, thanks to Sheila E.'s glamorous life. But maybe tonight, in honor of Eddie, I'll change it back to Electric Avenue.
We'll move back to Electric Avenue.
Yeah, we'll rock down there.
Sweet.
So, for me, Eddy Grant is a one-hit wonder, right?
Yeah, same.
And I know he was famous in the UK. He is born in Guyana, I believe it, in the South America. We didn't mention it, but Dire Straits is English, I believe, right? And so is Sting. So because this is our foreigners. Wow. This is our foreigners without foreigner thing, and we have to make sure we place them in their country. But after being born in Guyana, he moved to England. Eddy Grant did, and then he eventually moved to the Caribbean somewhere. Barbados. Thank you.
Right.
So he's truly a foreigner because none of this happened in the U.S., right?
Not one moment.
But he's a one-hit wonder. He had songs chart in the UK. I just never heard of any of them.
Right. No, they did not cross the pond.
Not well. Yeah.
No.
And Eddie is so interesting because this song is listed as funk, reggae fusion, rock, new wave, and synth pop. 5 different genres, whereas Money for Nothing was listed as rock. No,
that makes sense.
So it's interesting because in the region preview that you heard, Eddy Grant mentions like 7 different genres of music. He's like, and I'm none of these. I'm an amalgamation of all music and all that. And he really is, because this is a hard to categorize song, right? It's very
absolutely
unique.
You can hear all the influences in there, but it really is kind of. I mean, fusion's a good word because it's not straight reggae. You know, it's got all kinds of other sounds in there.
So much. So there's tons of electronic noises and synth on here. I mean, like the moment you start the song, right? You get this kind of electric drum beat, and then you get that. I'm gonna say it. That iconic. And then that. I mean, like, it's just rich with all these weird noises that I don't know. I'm not sure how he's making all these noises, but they're all through the song, and it's awesome.
Can I point out another little synth moment that I love?
Absolutely.
All right, it comes at about 1 minute 58 seconds, and here we go.
1:58. All right, let's try it.
Never can get to the one.
Yes.
I just love that little.
And they still can't feed everyone.
So good.
No, we gonna rock down to
Yes, so good. So the song it's like kind of an upbeat, up-tempo song, but it's really got kind of a darker origin to it.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
I mean, have you read about this? Have you seen this one in the news? Sorry. So the Electric Avenue was like the first street that had markets on it in London that had electricity, like a long time ago.
Hence the name
Electric Avenue. And it was known for having a ton of Caribbean immigrants. But then their subsequent mistreatment resulted then in riots and all of the things where you hear this can't find food for the kids, things like this. So they're being mistreated, and then they they rebel and riot against their mistreatment. And that's what this song, a lot of these lyrics are about.
Yeah.
He's singing them in an absolutely punchy and kind of upbeat way, but like when you stop and listen to it. This is a pretty
angry song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that as a kid. You know, I was just like, yeah, this song is cool, you know?
Yeah, they're going to rock. Oh, we're going to rock. That's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a song of someone who is really fed up with the oppression that's going on over there.
Right. And enough that he actually, he did leave the country.
Yeah.
For better, greener
Went to
pastures.
Barbados, where the video for this was filmed.
Oh, man, yeah. Do you want to talk about the video at all?
A little bit. The
go
video
ahead.
confused the shit out of me. He's sitting on his, it bounces between kind of the streets and him and on his couch, and then his living room floods for some reason, and then he's in a bar that's also a school, because he's in a bar. He's very clearly sitting in a bar, but there's school kids behind him studying. And then somewhere in there, there's these two menacing bikers,
motorcyclists. Yeah,
motorcyclists, and then, or are they menacing, or are they the heroes? I can't tell.
It's hard to say.
It's a very, I guess it's maybe kind of dreamlike. Is it safe to say it's kind of dreamlike?
Yeah, that's a safe assessment of what. Because it's nothing that could exist in reality is happening in this video, right?
I mean. Well, yes, there are bars that have schools in them.
Are there? There are
tons.
people who ride motorcycles who might appear menacing or heroic, depending on your perspective, I suppose.
Right.
Yeah. So, the video does not score a lot of points for me because it's kind of nonsensical. And I had never seen the video before also.
I hadn't either.
Whereas I had seen Money for Nothing's video.
It was on MTV.
Yeah.
But this is at a period when I didn't have MTV.
Right. And I didn't have MTV, as everyone who's heard this knows, but Money for Nothing's video somehow made it into my brain. Like I knew, the big heavy guy with overalls and a cigar, like the little digital character. Yeah. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, I've seen this. I know this.
Well, you know why? Because it was the video of the year, Keith.
That's true. So it must have made it on Friday night videos or somewhere.
There you go.
But I wanted to talk about Eddy's voice.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't sound like anyone else. You know, like
No,
a lot
he
of
doesn't.
a lot of the Britpop stuff that we listen to, you could be like, which one of these guys is that? Because a lot of them have a similar kind of tone and accent and all that. Eddie doesn't sound like literally anyone I've ever heard before or since. And he was not originally a singer, and you know, he was just a musician. And essentially one day this band he was in, the lead singer was heading into practice. Lead singer was heading out with a girl and was like, yeah, Eddie, you just go ahead and sing. Like, I'm going to go out with this girl, like, screw the band. And the guy never came back, and Eddie had to become the lead singer of this band. So he went and sought out vocal coaching.
Okay.
And he found this guy. Anyway, he got the vocal coaching, and this guy said, you know, you're going to be a star before I die or something. And as it turned out, he hit number 1 in the UK on the day that his vocal coach died. So it's uncertain whether the coach saw that he did make number 1 or not. But this guy, Eddie, did not want to be a singer, and this guy talked him into singing, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith,
Yeah.
can I point out that you didn't play the factoid?
Oh, that was a toid, wasn't it? That was a huge toid. So
That was absolutely toidal.
So, that vocal coach kind of saw in Eddie's voice maybe what I see in it, that it's rich and like, and it's
awesome.
Earnest, and it's awesome.
Can I point out one particular awesome line that I love?
I would absolutely love to hear an awesome line.
Okay, this comes toward the end.
Yeah.
Somewhere, I think, around 3:30-ish.
That's real close to the end.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a few seconds run up so I don't run over it. But yeah,
Okay.
Do you want to set it up, or do you want me to just play it?
It's just one of these things that, like, I'm gonna guess maybe that as the song starts to end and fade out, he's improvising here.
Okay.
Because he throws out this one line that shouts out of the city in Florida that I just have always loved.
Let's check it out.
Electric Avenue. Rocket in the night. Take it higher. Electric Avenue.
Rocket in Miami for mommy. I don't know why, but I have always
right. He's
loved
saying
that
stuff that he said earlier in the song. Rocket in the nighttime, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then Rocket in Miami for mommy.
I don't know where Miami comes from, but I'm glad it's there.
I've heard that song hundreds of times, and I just never heard that. Never heard that. Like, I never parsed out that he was saying Rocket in Miami for mommy. I don't know why, but that never, until you told me to do that needle drop, I had nothing.
I'm glad I've introduced you to that line because it's a gem.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
What else you got?
I got one last thing, and that is our Gens Alpha report for Electric Avenue.
Go ahead.
From Gen Z, we got, very energetic, good cleaning music. Which, hey, it's
like
great that
something to clean the house to, you mean? Like,
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right. Like he would put this on and then go clean the bathroom. And then from Gen Alpha, I have, and this ties into what you talked about with Eddy Grant's voice. Gen Alpha says, I can't tell what accent that is.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Well, I've never been to Guyana, however that's pronounced. Guyana. So, I'm assuming it's that mixed with British, where he then moved as a child to England.
That sounds plausible. Let's go with that.
Yeah, and then I don't think he had time to add the Barbados accent on top of the other two, because
I would not imagine so.
He had this is kind of a toid. He had recorded a bunch of songs and was leaving for Barbados. And when he got to Barbados, the tapes were lost along with his luggage, and he basically lost an entire album's worth of recordings.
Oh, damn. That
and
suck.
This was the song that he wrote to start making up for the lost material that was never recovered. Was Electric Avenue.
Well, I guess we're glad that he lost his luggage.
I guess so. Yeah, it ended up working out for us.
Yeah.
All right, so there you have it. There's cases for and against both these songs. Joe, it is your turn to render a verdict first. What say ye? You nominated Money for Nothing. I also nominated Electric Avenue. With we co-nominated Electric Avenue. I believe.
There you go.
So they're both kind of songs that we both like. Where's this going to end up for you?
I like both of them. We know that like does not equal 80s-er.
No.
But in this case, it does, because I am more fond of Electric Avenue than Money for Nothing, and I am voting Electric Avenue on this because it's just filthy with synth. It has so much just cool synth use in there, and the fact that, again, it is always right there at the tip of my brain. I have used the phrase Electric Avenue so much over the course of my life. Going 100% for Electric Avenue.
100%. Nice.
Yes.
I'm a little more split than that because of several things we've already talked about with Money for Nothing, but Electric Avenue is 100% stuck in my brain. It takes me back to a time and a place.
Yep.
Money for Nothing does that as well, but I don't know. There's just something about Electric Avenue that tips the scales to Eddy Grant for me. So I don't know, man. This first round, we've agreed more than I thought we would.
We have.
Especially when it comes to songs you nominated and then voted against. But I mean, Eddy Grant, you also nominated, so I understand.
I did. And,
but yeah, so it's 2-0 Electric Avenue. But there might be some Dire Straits folks out there who are like, Video of the Year, Grammy, Sting. I mean, it's super 80s. I get
it. If everyone else agrees with us, that would be a huge upset because, again, this is a 12 seed,
right,
going up against a 5 seed. So
yeah, it would be a big.
I would not be surprised if most of the other people were like, no, Money for Nothing. I don't know.
I feel like it's going to be an Eddy Grant landslide, and I'm also predicting that Denny is going to tell us that Eddy Grant is far superior to Dire Straits.
You know what? I'm not going to take that bet.
You might agree, huh?
I never know. I never know exactly where he's going to land.
Nobody knows, but
Nobody knows.
I love when he comments, especially when he comments at 1 a.m. about Rockwell and your shower habits. I mean, absolutely hilarious, Denny.
Oh, good.
Anyway, how can these other folks who aren't Denny vote for this?
Here's how. Find us on Substack. Our Substack is the80sest.substack.com. You can find us on Facebook by looking for the 80sest podcast. You can find us on Threads at the_80s_est.
Nice.
You can find. You can email us at. Email us, and our address is the80sest@gmail.com because we don't fuck with Yahoo.
No, we do not, guys.
No.
We're hip.
We're modern.
Wait,
we're
if we were more modern, we would use like Snapchat instead of email. But whatever.
Well, that's not for us. That's for boomers.
That's true.
I'm too hip to send an email.
That's a good point. So
I'm not
you
too
guys
hip to use the word hip, I guess.
Should definitely go check out the playlists on Spotify. They're awesome. And they're all set up for you. Just search for the 80sest. Our podcast will pop up, and so will the lists. And obviously, we're available anywhere that fine podcasts are bought, sold, and or processed. Thanks, Lloyd Dobler. So there you go.
Always thanks. And hey, if you're checking us out there, take a moment. Maybe give us a rating. Maybe like. Maybe a review.
Oh, that would be maybe asking too much, but let's ask anyway.
It? For the joy we bring into people's goddamn lives,
that's right,
Keith.
Their dark lives are brightened by us 4 times a week, Joe.
That's right. If we had existed in the 80s, maybe Eddy Grant wouldn't have been so pessimistic.
That's a good point, yeah.
That's right.
Well, anyway, I guess that is go vote, because that's all for today's show. And join us next time on the 80s-ist when we're going to explore our next matchup, which I'm telling you is going to be a hot one. It's going to be 4 Tainted Love against 13 seed Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Those are 2 great songs.
Is it? Why so low?
I don't know. We're going to have to discuss that on the next show. But until then, on behalf of Joe, this has been Keith saying, you know what makes my day a really great 80s song? That's what. Not shooting a whole cafe full of bad guys without due process, but to each his own. Right, Harry?
How you boys put those guns down?
Say what?
Whoa, we're not just gonna let you walk out of here.
Who's we, sucker?
Smith and Wesson and me. Go ahead. Make my day.